First strike. Admiral Kira Yoshida stood motionless before the massive holographic display in Earth's Meridian Defense Council chamber, her weathered face illuminated by the swirling red indicators that spelled humanity's worst fears. The deep space monitoring stations had detected it 3 days ago. Quantum fluctuations matching no known natural phenomenon, moving in formation toward human space. The Sijec are coming, she announced to the assembled council members, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. And they're not coming as friends. Councillor Marcus Thane, his dark skin contrasting sharply with his silver uniform, leaned forward. Impossible. The Sijec have been our trading partners for 50 years. They've shown no signs of. No signs we were meant to see, interrupted Dr. Reina Patel, the head of Sinological Studies. She projected a series of decoded transmissions onto the central display. We've detected a pattern in their recent communications. Their trade missions were surveillance operations. Every cultural exchange was a military assessment. The council chamber erupted in murmurs as Reina continued. Their latest transmissions contain something else, deployment orders. They're not just coming to one colony or outpost. They're launching a full-scale invasion of human space. Admiral Yoshida raised her hand for silence. There's more. The quantum signatures we're detecting. They're unlike anything in our database. The Sijec have been hiding their true technological capabilities, just as we have been hiding ours. The revelation hung heavy in the air. For centuries, humanity had maintained a carefully crafted image of technological mediocrity. While other species boasted of their achievements, Earth and its colonies had seemingly focused on trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange. It had been the greatest deception in human history. Initiative Sentinel, Yoshida said quietly, and the chamber's lighting shifted to deep blue. Hidden panels in the wall slid aside, revealing screens filled with classified military data. For 300 years, we've been preparing for this possibility. Every trade ship we've built has a military core that can be activated. Every colony has defense systems hidden beneath civilian infrastructure. We are not the simple traders and diplomats the galaxy believes us to be. The council members watched in stunned silence as classified footage played across the screens. Massive underground shipyards on Mars, quantum weapon research facilities in the Kuiper Belt, and biological enhancement programs that had created soldiers capable of interfacing directly with advanced combat systems. The Sijec believe they're launching a surprise attack. Yoshida continued, but we've known this day might come since we first encountered alien life. We've spent centuries building our strength in secret, developing technologies that even our closest allies don't suspect we possess. Dr. Patel stepped forward, her hands trembling slightly as she manipulated the holographic controls. The Sijec fleet will reach the Proxima Centauri colony in 6 days. Their quantum weapons are beyond anything they've previously displayed, but she smiled grimly. So are our defenses. Then we have a choice to make, Councillor Thane said, rising from his seat. Do we reveal our true strength now, warn them off, or do we wait, let them strike first, and show them exactly what humanity is capable of? Admiral Yoshida's response was interrupted by a priority alert. The holographic display shifted to show a live feed from the Neptune monitoring station. The Sijec fleet had appeared at the edge of the solar system, far sooner than expected. Their massive ships, crystalline structures that seemed to bend the very fabric of space around them, moved with devastating purpose. It seems, Yoshida said, her finger hovering over a sealed command console, the choice has been made for us. She pressed her palm against the scanner, and throughout the solar system, hidden defense platforms began to power up. Beneath the surface of Mars, massive hangar doors slowly opened. And in deep space, stealth satellites that had maintained silent vigil for centuries prepared to reveal humanity's true face to the galaxy. The Sijec War was about to begin, and humanity's mask of peaceful mediocrity would be the first casualty. But as Admiral Yoshida watched the defense systems come online, she knew that it wouldn't be the last. Initiate Protocol Prometheus, she commanded. Let's show them what humanity has been hiding all these years. Hidden strength. Supreme Commander Vextol of the Sijec Dominion watched in disbelief as the first wave of his invasion fleet disintegrated against Neptune's orbital plane. Where their intelligence had shown only automated mining stations and civilian platforms, they now faced a web of quantum defense arrays that had seemingly materialized from nowhere. Impossible, he chittered, his crystalline exoskeleton resonating with frustration. Their technological level was verified by 1,000 surveillance missions. They are primitives who barely understand quantum mechanics. His tactical officer, Zinra, manipulated the holographic displays with her secondary appendages. Supreme Commander were detecting massive energy signatures throughout the solar system. The humans, they're activating something. Beneath the icy surface of Europa, Jupiter's moon, Commander Ishani Rajagopal smiled as she gave the order. Activate the Titan array. Let's give our visitors a proper welcome. The moon's surface split apart like a blooming flower, revealing a massive weapons platform that had been hidden for over a century. Similar transformations occurred across the solar system. Asteroid mining operations unfolded into battle stations, civilian satellites revealed weapon cores, and research outposts became fortress worlds. In lunar orbit, the Meridian Defense Council's backup command center hummed with activity. Admiral Yoshida's hologram appeared before the assembled fleet commanders. Operation Aegis is now active. Remember your training. Everything we've prepared for over 3 centuries comes down to this moment. The first true clash between human and Sijec forces occurred near Saturn's rings. The Sijec dreadnought Crystal Ascendancy emerged from quantum space, its weapon systems charging to destroy what appeared to be a vulnerable fuel processing station. Instead, it found itself facing the HMS Prometheus, a vessel that had masqueraded as a civilian cargo hauler for decades. Captain Rajesh Kumar stood on the Prometheus's bridge, neural interfaces connecting him directly to his ship's systems. Show them what we've been hiding all these years, he ordered. The Prometheus transformed, its civilian facade falling away to reveal a warship unlike anything the Sijec had encountered. Quantum-enhanced armor plates shifted and realigned, biological computation systems merged with quantum processors, and weapon systems that had been theoretically impossible emerged from hidden compartments. They're adapting, Zinra reported as the Crystal Ascendancy took its first hits. Their ship, it's learning from each exchange. Our quantum weapons are becoming less effective with each shot. The battle spread across the solar system. Humanity's hidden fleets emerged from gas giant storms, asteroid fields, and quantum pocket dimensions that the Sijec sensors couldn't detect. Each engagement revealed new aspects of human military technology that had been developed in absolute secrecy. On Mars, Dr. Reina Patil accessed the quantum archives, broadcasting a message to all human forces. The Meridian protocols are now fully active. All civilian vessels initiate military transformation sequences. All colonial defense systems emerge from standby. Across human space, the careful masquerade of centuries fell away. Trading ships transformed into warships, agricultural colonies revealed military cores, and research stations activated weapon systems that had been hidden in plain sight. Commander Vextol watched his carefully planned invasion crumble. How? He demanded. How did they hide all of this? In her command center on Europa, Commander Rajagopal received the first damage reports. The Sijec weapons were devastating, but humanity's preparations were proving effective. 3 centuries of paranoid preparation, of building defenses while pretending to focus on trade, were paying off. They thought our love of peace meant we were weak, she transmitted to the fleet. They never understood that peace was a choice, not a limitation. We chose diplomacy while preparing for war, and now they'll learn why. The Sijec fleet regrouped near Pluto, their crystalline ships forming a defensive formation. They had lost 1/3 of their invasion force to humanity's hidden defenses, but they were far from defeated. Supreme Commander Vextol had already transmitted orders for reinforcements. But as he watched the tactical displays, showing human forces emerging from hidden bases throughout the system. He felt something he had never experienced before: doubt. The humans hadn't just hidden their military might. They had created technologies that the Sijec had thought impossible. Admiral Yoshida received the updates in the Lunar Command Center. "They're calling for reinforcements," she announced to the Council. "Exactly as we predicted. Initiate Phase 2 of Operation Aegis. Show them that what they've seen so far is just the beginning." Throughout the solar system, even more massive structures began to emerge from their centuries-long hibernation. The real war was about to begin, and humanity's greatest secrets were still yet to be revealed. Dr. Patel studied the quantum readings from the Sijec fleet. "They still don't understand," she said quietly. "We didn't just hide our weapons. We hid entire branches of science, technological developments that we've kept secret for centuries. And now they're about to learn why humanity chose to wear a mask for so long." The counter-protocol. The quantum storms above Mars painted the sky in impossible colors as humanity's hidden weapons clashed with Sijec technology. Aboard the HMS Hyperion, Lieutenant Commander Nadia Volkov watched the battle unfold through her neural interface, every sensor reading feeding directly into her enhanced consciousness. "They're adapting to our first-wave defenses," she reported to the War Council. "But they haven't seen Project Helios yet." Deep within Titan's crust, Dr. Viktor Novak stood before the massive quantum core that represented humanity's greatest technological achievement. "Helios control reports ready," he transmitted. "The quantum lattice is stable. We can proceed with full deployment." Admiral Yoshida's hologram appeared in command centers across the solar system. "All forces, initiate Helios protocol. Show them what 3 centuries of quantum research really looks like." The effect was immediate and devastating. Across the battlefield, human ships and defense platforms began emitting a previously unknown form of quantum radiation. Sijec weapons, which had relied on destabilizing matter at its fundamental level, suddenly found their effects reversed. Supreme Commander Vextal watched in horror as his fleet's most powerful weapons not only failed but began to backfire. "What is this?" he demanded, his crystalline form vibrating with stress. "Their technology. It violates fundamental laws of physics." "No," Dr. Patel's voice came through on all frequencies, addressing both human and Sijec forces. "We didn't violate the laws of physics. We just understood them better than anyone else. While we played the role of simple traders and diplomats, our quantum laboratories were discovering principles that we kept hidden from the galaxy." The Helios protocol revealed its full power. Human ships began to phase through Sijec attacks, their quantum shields not just blocking energy weapons, but absorbing and redirecting them. Centuries of classified research had created defense systems that seemed to defy reality itself. Commander Rajagopal directed the counterattack from Europa, coordinating with the quantum-enhanced soldiers under her command. "All units, execute Pattern Omega. Show them why humanity chose to hide its strength for so long." The battle shifted into dimensions that the Sijec had never even theorized could exist. Human ships slipped between quantum states, appearing and disappearing at will. Defense platforms generated fields that turned the Sijec's own weapons against them. Every engagement revealed new aspects of human military technology that had been developed in absolute secrecy. In lunar orbit, Dr. Patel accessed the quantum archives once more. "We knew this day might come," she transmitted. "From the moment we first detected alien life, we understood that peace might not last forever. So we split our development into 2 paths, what we showed the galaxy and what we kept hidden." The Sijec fleet's formation began to break. Their sophisticated quantum weapons, which had seemed unstoppable during their initial approach, now faced countermeasures that had been specifically designed to neutralize them. Each attack they launched was not just blocked, but turned into a weapon against them. Lieutenant Commander Volkov watched through her neural interface as the battle reached its turning point. The Helios protocol wasn't just a defense system. It was a fundamental reimagining of how quantum mechanics could be applied to warfare. While the Sijec had developed their technology along predictable lines, humanity had explored paths that no other species had even considered. "They're retreating," she reported, watching the Sijec fleet begin to pull back. "Their quantum signatures are destabilizing. They can't maintain combat cohesion against Helios." But Admiral Yoshida's response was grim. "This isn't over. The Sijec don't retreat. They regroup, prepare for their second wave. And this time, show them Project Olympus." Throughout the solar system, an even more sophisticated network of quantum devices began to activate. Humanity had not just prepared one layer of hidden defenses, but many. Each revelation of their true technological capability was designed to be followed by another, even more devastating demonstration. Dr. Novak's hands flew over the quantum controls as he initiated the Olympus protocols. "All these years," he said quietly, "while they thought we were focusing on trade and cultural exchange, we were building this. A defense system so advanced that we had to hide its very existence to prevent anyone from even suspecting it was possible." The quantum core beneath Titan pulsed with new energy, sending waves of possibility through space itself. The true extent of humanity's preparation was about to be revealed, and the galaxy would never be the same. "Let them come," Commander Rajagopal transmitted to all forces. "Show them that humanity's greatest strength isn't our hidden weapons or secret technology. It's that we never stopped preparing, never stopped innovating, never stopped imagining what might be possible." As the Sijec fleet regrouped for another assault, the solar system itself seemed to hold its breath. The next phase of the war was about to begin, and humanity's most closely guarded secrets were about to change the course of galactic history. Operation Starfall. The quantum ether between dimensions shimmered as humanity's hidden fleet emerged. The HMS Artemis, flagship of the legendary Phoenix fleet, materialized at the head of an armada that had never appeared in any official record. Its commander, Admiral Hiroshi Tanaka, surveyed the tactical display with eyes enhanced by centuries of classified biotechnology. "Operation Starfall is now active," he announced across quantum-encrypted channels. "Show them why we kept this fleet hidden between realities for 300 years." The Phoenix fleet represented humanity's ultimate military achievement. Vessels that existed simultaneously in multiple quantum states, crewed by soldiers who had undergone voluntary genetic modification to interface directly with quantum technology. While the rest of humanity's forces had revealed their hidden strength, these ships had remained in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Supreme Commander Vextol received the sensor data with increasing alarm. "Impossible," he transmitted to the Sijec High Command. "They're emerging from quantum spaces that shouldn't exist. They're ships. They're operating on principles we never imagined." Dr. Patel's voice echoed through the command networks. "While you watched our civilian ships, measured our visible technology, we were building something far beyond your understanding. The Phoenix fleet isn't just a military force. It's the culmination of every scientific advance we kept hidden from the galaxy." The battle that followed defied conventional physics. The Phoenix fleet's ships phased through Sijec attacks, their quantum state drives allowing them to exist in multiple locations simultaneously. Each vessel carried weapons that had been developed in absolute secrecy, tested against simulated versions of every known alien technology. Lieutenant Commander Volkov, now integrated with the Artemis's quantum systems, coordinated the assault. "Pattern Epsilon," she transmitted. "Show them what happens when humanity stops holding back." The Phoenix fleet's attack was devastating. Ships that had been hidden between dimensions now struck from impossible angles, their weapons bypassing Sijec defenses as if they didn't exist. The quantum technology that humanity had kept secret for centuries proved to be far beyond anything the Sijec had prepared for. In the Titan facility, Dr. Novak activated the final phase of Project Olympus. "Quantum resonance field expanding," he reported. "The dimensional barriers are becoming permeable exactly as designed." The space around the battling fleets began to shift. The Phoenix fleet's true capability became apparent as they manipulated the fundamental structure of reality itself. Ships moved through dimensions that the Sijec couldn't even detect, striking from vectors that their sensors couldn't comprehend. Commander Rajagopal watched from her quantum-enhanced command center as the tide of battle shifted decisively. "All these years," she transmitted, "while you thought we were playing at diplomacy, we were preparing for this moment. Every scientific breakthrough we shared with the galaxy was carefully chosen, always holding back the truly revolutionary discoveries." The Sijec fleet's formation collapsed entirely as ships began to vanish, trapped between quantum states by weapons they couldn't understand. Supreme Commander Vextal's flagship, the Crystal Dominion, found itself surrounded by vessels that seemed to flicker in and out of existence. Admiral Tanaka's voice carried across all frequencies. "You thought humanity was weak because we chose peace. You never understood that our choice to avoid war wasn't born of fear. It was born of knowing exactly what we were capable of." The Phoenix fleet executed a maneuver that had never been seen in the history of space warfare. Their ships moved in perfect synchronization across multiple quantum states, creating a cascade effect that trapped the remaining Sijec vessels in a dimensional lock. "Your error," Dr. Patel transmitted to the surrounded Sijec command ship, "wasn't in attacking us. It was in assuming that because we didn't show our strength, we didn't possess it. Humanity has been preparing for this possibility since we first looked to the stars." Supreme Commander Vextal watched as his mighty fleet was systematically dismantled by technology that shouldn't have been possible. The humans hadn't just hidden their military capability, they had concealed entire branches of scientific advancement, developing weapons and defenses that operated on principles the Sijec had never even theorized. Admiral Yoshida's hologram appeared before the Sijec commander. "You have a choice," she said simply. "Surrender and learn why we chose to hide our true nature for so long, or continue this battle and face capabilities that we haven't even revealed yet." As the Phoenix fleet maintained its dimensional lock on the surviving Sijec ships, the true scope of humanity's preparation became clear. They hadn't just built weapons or ships, they had created an entirely new understanding of reality itself, kept hidden for centuries until it was needed. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest deception hadn't been hiding its military might. It had been concealing just how far beyond conventional understanding their science had progressed. The age of secrets was ending, and a new era of human influence was about to begin. Breaking dawn. In the quantum-shifted space between dimensions, Admiral Tanaka faced Supreme Commander Vextal across a flickering holographic conference table. The crystalline being's form resonated with frequencies that spoke of both defeat and something else. Curiosity. "Why?" Vextal asked, his crystalline structure pulsing with harmonics of confusion. "Why maintain this deception for centuries? Your species possessed power that could have dominated the galaxy. Instead, you chose to hide." Dr. Patel stepped forward, her quantum-enhanced consciousness allowing her to perceive the multiple dimensional states of the Sijec commander. "Because we understood something fundamental about power," she replied. "The moment you reveal it, you change everything, including yourself." The truth began to unfold like a quantum equation resolving itself. Deep within the Titan facility, Dr. Novak had made a discovery that changed everything. The quantum signatures of the Sijec technology carried patterns that were hauntingly familiar. "Show them," Admiral Yoshida commanded from Lunar Command. "Show them what we really discovered 3 centuries ago." Dr. Patil activated a quantum projection that filled the space between the human and Sijec leaders. It showed 2 DNA helixes, one human, one Sijec, but rendered in quantum states rather than physical structure. The patterns were different, yet their fundamental quantum resonance was identical. "We're not enemies," Dr. Patil explained, her voice carrying across quantum frequencies. "We're distant cousins, seated across the galaxy by the same ancient civilization. Your crystalline forms, our biological adaptability. They're 2 approaches to the same evolutionary endpoint." Vextal's form shifted through multiple quantum states as the truth resonated through his crystalline consciousness. "The ancient ones, The myths of our origin were the same as ours. Commander Rajagopal continued. We found the quantum signatures in our own genetic code centuries ago. We knew there had to be others. That's why we hid our true capabilities. Not out of fear, but in hope of finding our stellar siblings without the burden of power dynamics. The Phoenix fleet maintained its dimensional hold, but now its presence felt less threatening and more protective. Lieutenant Commander Volkov's neural interfaces detected quantum patterns shifting throughout the Sijec fleet. Patterns of recognition, of understanding. Your invasion, Admiral Tanaka said quietly. Was it truly about conquest? Or was it a test, pushing us to reveal our true nature? Vextel's crystalline form resonated with what humans would recognize as a laugh. Perhaps both, perhaps neither. We too had found the ancient quantum signatures. We too suspected a connection, but we chose a different path to verification. Dr. Novik's voice came through from Titan, excited despite the solemnity of the moment. The quantum resonance patterns between our species, they're not just similar, they're complementary. Your crystalline quantum processing, our biological quantum adaptation, they were designed to work together. The implications rippled through both fleets like a quantum wave collapsing into certainty. Humanity's centuries of hidden preparation hadn't just been about defense. They had been about reaching a point where they could recognize and understand their cosmic heritage. We chose peace, Admiral Yoshida stated, not because we were weak, but because we suspected this moment would come. We developed our technology in secret not to gain advantage, but to ensure that when we finally met our stellar siblings, we could meet as equals. The quantum space around the fleets began to stabilize as both sides adjusted their fields to work in harmony rather than opposition. The Phoenix fleet's dimensional technologies synchronized with the Sijec's crystalline quantum matrices, creating patterns of possibility that neither species had achieved alone. The Ancient Ones didn't just seed us across the galaxy, Dr. Paddle explained, her quantum consciousness expanding to share the full understanding. They created us to find each other, to combine our different approaches to quantum reality. The war wasn't the test. The peace that follows will be. Commander Vextel's form shifted into a resonance pattern that matched the human quantum frequencies. Then let us begin again, he proposed. Not as enemies, not even just as allies, but as what we truly are, different branches of the same cosmic tree, finally growing together. As the combined fleets began to power down their weapons, Dr. Novik reported an unprecedented phenomenon from Titan. The quantum core was generating new patterns, combinations of human and Sijec technology that opened doorways to understanding that neither species had imagined possible. This, Admiral Tanaka said, looking out at the ships of both species now floating peacefully in formation, is why humanity chose to hide its strength, not for the moment of revelation, but for what comes after. We weren't preparing for war. We were preparing for this transformation. The Sijec War ended not with a final battle but with a beginning. Two species recognizing their shared heritage and the greater destiny that awaited them together. Humanity's greatest deception was revealed to be its greatest wisdom. The patience to wait for the right moment to show not just their strength, but their understanding. As the quantum dust settled, the galaxy stood on the brink of a new era. The children of the Ancient Ones had finally found each other, and their combined knowledge would unlock secrets that had waited millennia to be discovered. The war was over, but the real journey was just beginning.